I'm going to go over this web page design that I did shortly after Robin Williams passed away. It has a lot of YouTube videos in memory of Robin Williams, which are linked into table data cells. And there's a large table data cell that has an iframe inside, which is actually the viewing area of all these different YouTube videos. Surrounding the table itself is a field set with a legend. The table itself is this whole rectangle with all the links and the viewing area. That's the table. The field set is this white line that kind of borders around it, and the legend is actually the caption for the field set, which in this case is Robin Williams. You'll notice that we have white text and black text. The white text links are pages that haven't been viewed yet, and the ones in black have already been clicked on. I can show you by hitting 24.Ellen, and you can see how now Ellen is in black. If I clear my history in Firefox, clear now, what that does is two things. Well, first of all, let me refresh the page. I cleared the history, but let me hit refresh at the top. Refreshing the page sets my link color to white. They're all white at this point. But if you notice, the table itself expanded and is no longer fitting inside of my pre-sized recording viewing area. So on my keyboard, I take my left hand and hold in the control key, which is the very left bottom button, and then I look up at the top of my keyboard where F9 is, kind of in the middle, and right underneath that is a minus sign. While I'm holding in the control, I can tap on that minus sign, which is going to make everything go smaller, smaller, smaller until it actually fits in my viewing area as shown. Now, if I just hover over the table data cell itself, which is the rectangle, I go from a light blue to a darker blue. And if I hover over the text, I go from white to gray. If I click on a link, it goes to the page and opens the page up in that iframe. And since it's found the page and opened it, this is now considered visited. So the visited color for this link is now black. And we go to another one. And if you don't click the text, it's not going anywhere. You have to actually click the text in order to make the link bring up the different web pages. This one says this video does not exist. When I originally did this, all of the videos worked. Over time, some videos get booted because of copyright issues. Other people actually remove the videos from their YouTube channel. For the most part, most of these do actually work. Another thing I don't think I mentioned the color of the text and the color of the table data cell. But if you left click it and hold it, that's called active link, and I gave it a color of lime for active link. And when you let go, it goes back to that gray and then that black as visited link. The first table row has two table data cells in it, this large one and this small one. This constitutes a row. The way we get this extra large one is by setting the table data cell to a call span, which means it takes up columns. A call span of 3 because it takes up the space of 1, 2, 3 columns, and we set a row span to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, a row span of 13, and it gives us this extra large table data cell. Inside my data table cell, I have an iframe. The iframe is what actually lets us watch these videos. All right, let's see. So our very first row has two things in it. Our second row only has one TD, which is table data cell, and our third row only has one, and so on and so forth, until we get to this row where we have 1, 2, 3, 4 TDs inside of the TR. TDs meaning table data cells, TR meaning table row. Okie doke, let's go to the code. The top of the HTML file has the HTML tag, and at the very end we have the closing HTML tag. I'm using Notepad++ because it colorizes like this, and it helps me with my code. It helps me find things, and when I need to make corrections, it just makes life a lot easier. There's a lot of green code you're going to see. When you need to make a note, you do this less than sign, exclamation point, dash, dash. And then when you want to stop the comment, not a quote, I mean a comment, you do dash, dash, greater than sign. This is the beginning of a comment. This is the end of a comment. This is the beginning of a comment. This is the end of a comment. Beginning of a comment, end of a comment. I could have just had a beginning here and an ending here, but I gave it this little design or whatnot, and what I wound up doing was copying and pasting this whole thing because I was going to do different snippets in each little section, and I was going to use this big green chunk as my division in between my experiments. So this really has nothing to do with what I'm looking at right now. Also, this QuickTime Media Player, this doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm looking at right now. It's just a code that plays AVI, WAV, and MP4 files. All of this is a different section as well. It doesn't have to do with my blue table about Robin Williams. This right here is all part of the page that we're not looking at. This has to do with C# lecture lists, college classes that I was taking. This was actually linking to specific lectures. We're not looking at any of that. All of this in green, again, I'm not using. I have totally commented out. This could be commented out, but I don't. See, what it is I'll show you real quick. If I go down, I've got this little snippet, one link that opens 3 frames at the same time. If I click that, it opens 3 things at one time. I thought that was a nice feature. You know, all of this excess stuff is all little snippets of stuff I was practicing that I'm not going to go over. So because I have all that other stuff down there, when I look at this code, I just have a rash of code that has nothing to do with what I'm looking at particular right now. Same thing here. None of this applies. This doesn't apply. This does not apply. This applies. Here we have an end to field set. All of this is the table we're referring to. Okay. I went over the fact that this is a JavaScript that I'm not using. Here's the end of the head, here's the body, here's that field set tag, and here's the beginning of the field set tag, and the end is right here, right there. Again, the field set is this whole line all the way around here. And if we go back, I really hate to go up and down because I know how confusing that is. Field set tag, legend tag, beginning and opening and closing legend tag inside Robin Williams. And I have an H1 tag on either side of Robin Williams to give it a certain size and font weight. There's the end legend. Now where's the next thing that we actually look at? We have a div ID of blue, which is going to let me colorize everything inside of the table. We have a div ID of boxed. The div ID of blue, here are the styles for ID blue. To do an ID, you use the pound sign. up here in the style, but then down there in the body of the code you say div ID equals and then the double quotes blue. So here I gave my iframe a background color. It's a certain blue. It's the pound 728CA6. My table data cell, I gave some styles there. Border thick black solid, padding 5 pixels, background color, pound 416384. It's another type of blue, different shade of blue. ID blue td.main, that's a class of main, padding of 5 pixels, background color of black with 100% height 100%. The A link means just this link. When you first start the program or you first open the browser, they all start off as white. So A link, color white. A visited, color black. When we visit it, it changes to black. The TD hover, background color of 133353, different kind of blue. That's when I hover and you get this darker blue in the box itself. And the A hover is the link, the text, color gray. You see, goes from white to gray or black to gray. The text turns gray. That's a hover. And then A active means when you actively click the link, color lime. Again, Whose Line Moments turned lime. Oscar winner turned lime. And that's pretty much all I need to go over as far as the CSS style. So we got to the field set, we got to the legend. You see that the name is Robin Williams. Let's get to that table. The ID of blue, ID of boxed, that must be something that I didn't clean up out of here because I don't see an ID in my style of boxed. Here's our table. Class grid table. I don't have a style for grid table up there either, so that maybe that's something I was going to use and I changed. But in any event, this is our opening table tag. Here's our opening table tag, and after all of these multiple links, here's our ending table tag. And since there's 2 divs before the table tag, you have to have 2 ending divs and an ending field set. So after the table tag, we have our TRs. Our opening TR and our closing TR means table row. And remember when I told you we had 2 things go on, 2 table data cells. There's the first table data cell that has the call span of 3, row span of 13. Inside that table TD, this part right here is the opening TD. This part is the closing TD. Inside is the iframe. The iframe has a name of TV10, a class of TV10. Source, nothing in here. So when you first open the page, it doesn't open to anything and you just see a certain blue color. Width of 100% and height of 520 pixels, and then you end the iframe. The iframe video, the video is going to go inside this iframe. The next table data cell in that first row, this is that MP4 file that I intended to have show up, but then it's actually not included. It's actually not in the folder, so that gives us the error message that, I don't know, did I show that? It's right up here. It's not actually in the folder, so you get this file not found error. So it really doesn't do anything because you can't find the file. It's not going to change the white text to black because it didn't actually link to anything. It's still searching, and so it's never going to turn black unless I make this file and put it in the folder. And if it directly links to it by this file, by this path, then it'll turn black. So that's the first table row. And I told you that the second table row would only have one thing in it, which it does. It has one table data cell with one website, and it says 17 Conan on it. 17 Conan. This is the one that we didn't find. This one takes us to Conan, remembering Robin Williams. And so you have TR for table row, TD for table data cell, AREF for the link, and the address itself. And you see where it says target TV10, that's the name of this iframe. Target TV10, name TV10. and class TV10 if I wanted to give it a certain style. This right here, the A ref is the location. This http colon forward slash www.youtube.com /embed /b_6wy, I think that's a Q, C9N3U. If you know how to embed YouTube videos, what you do is you take the whole embed code, if you were going to embed it into your own web page, and what you do is you, like for instance, I go to YouTube and I find something that I want to embed, and I click the embed link and I copy that whole code. So like, I'm going to have all this code right here that I copied. It's going to be like, I don't know, like lines worth. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just suck out the address and I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to paste it right in here because I want it to go in my iframe, not the iframe that they give you as part of this embed code. And so href equals just the address, not all this other junk. Then you could just delete all this other junk. But initially you're going to end up with all this junk because it's going to give you that. But well, like I said, all you need to be worried about is the actual address, the http, what's in those parentheses. And then you get rid of that. So I guess I should probably show you that. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Let me see if I can show you. Let's just see if I can show you. Because you can't just grab any address. You have to use the embed code or it won't show up the way you want. So I don't know. Let's see. Who do we want to use? Let's go with the Star Wars thing. You click it. Okay. And you see this share thing? You click share. I think I'm doing it right. Share. Okay, I don't want to listen to this. You click embed. Okay, you see this big long thing? You right click it and hit copy, right? Then you go to your code. Now I'm just going to give myself some space here and I'm going to control V it. Okay, this is going to give you a whole new iframe, but you don't want to use their iframe. You want to just suck out this inside the source. And you want to cut it, and then you want to paste it right inside the double quotes. And then since I totally messed this up, I'm gonna just go blah 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 blah. I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna erase this iframe that I didn't need. And let's see, something strange is going on. I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to hit refresh. Now you see where Conan was, but now I have all this strange baloney. Let's click it. And now instead of Conan, we're going to get Star Wars. You see how that works? It works perfectly. But you just, like I said, you have to first copy the embed code, put it somewhere out of your way in your HTML file, and then carefully place that, just the address, in your code. So in order for me to undo what I just did, I have to hit Control Z until everything goes back to what it was. There, the Conan came back. I got to wait for the address to come back. I have to wait for the full this, and then I hit Control Z one more time till it disappears, and a couple more times to bring it up. That ought to be good. Hit save, go back up here, hit refresh, goes back to Conan. If I hit it, goes from Star Wars to Conan. Okay, so I just showed you how to do that by using the embed code address. Alrighty, I don't really need to look at that anymore. So, I forgot my train of thought since I distracted myself with that. TRTD, there's the address, there's the target to the iframe. 17 Conan is the title that you want to click on to take you to this address. All of these TRs are the same thing. They all have one address, one link in each TR until you get to that one that has 4. Here we are. This is one TR that has one TD. It's got the href with the address, target TV 10, 1.Parkinson. That's the, in black is the text that you're going to click on to link. And here's another TD, there's the second TD, and there's the third TD, and there's the fourth TD. So it's a lot of repetition. The worst part is the more code you get flopping around in the breeze like this, the more you can make some simple little mistake, like if that backslash wasn't there, this whole thing wouldn't work right. Not backslash, forward slash. Just any little error will screw your whole thing up. And again, you've got your last TRs, which have 4 table data addresses, table data cells with addresses inside. End table, end div, end filled set. And that basically is it in a nutshell of my entire table here that takes you to all these different places that talks about Robin Williams, the different things that he's done, the different awards that he's won. And you can do this with any actor or actress or any subject that you want. You could like make your own little broadcasting thing this way. I mean, it's fun, it's interesting. You can make your own videos like I did up here and link to your own MP4 videos. Let's say you want to exercise for a month and you want to show yourself doing a particular exercise for a month. You come over here and click it and have your first day doing those, whatever you're doing, and the second day and the third day until you get about a month's worth. And I don't know, it seems kind of silly, but it's just different things that you can do with a table and an iframe and a web page.